Hi, everybody.
I think we should be all like Ellen. I hope everybody else is dancing when they hear that music. So I'm back here chair dancing to that song. I love it.
No, I'm knitting because that's the only knitting I get done in the podcast.
So, hey, everybody.
That's
welcome.
Okay. Yeah, hi, everybody.
Tuesday evening knit chat. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Noelle. And we are coming to you.
Oh,
we're Knits and Pieces. We're Knits and Pieces, but this is Tuesday night Knit Chat Cafe.
And we're coming to you from Southern Ontario. I know that's what you were going to say.
No, I was going to say where we meet with our friends in a coffee shop and bring our knitting and talk about things.
Okay, and that too. Yeah. So it's good to be here. Do you want to say some hellos?
I will say some hellos. And people have been in here and I haven't even had a look yet at
the pre-show.
All these comments. I was later getting here than normal. Usually I'm the first one in here. And today Kelly was worried.
It's 4 minutes too. I actually thought you were going to stand me up.
No, I would never do that. Anyway, hi, Nikki. Hi, Rebecca. We've got Daphne, Trudy, Cindy, Susie. And you guys were having a great conversation before we started here. Lise, Catherine. We've got Jamie, Elaine, Deborah, Lisa, Leanne, Deborah, Linda, Yvonne, Julia. I almost bought my egg, but I stopped myself at the last minute. Whoops. I'm hitting comments now. We've got Kelly, Gwen, Anita, Laura, Mary, Lynn, Cindy, Nicole, Jelaine, Maureen. We've got Beth, Sue, Donna, Denise, Elisa. Oh, we've got a Kelly. Not you, Kelly, another Kelly.
Another Kelly.
Yeah, we've got Nikki, Darcy, Shirley, another Elaine, Teresa, Lynn, Nancy, Marnie, Lillian, Karen, Jan, Bobby, Victoria, Holly, Jess, Roseanne, Sherry. Wow, there's a lot of people in here tonight. Joanne, Holly. Whoops, I'm still pressing these. Emily. And if I've missed anybody, I apologize. But welcome everybody. If you're new, this is not our formal podcast. This is just where we kind of talk about what we've been working on. We do have a formal podcast that we do about once every 4 weeks, and there we go into more detail about our finished objects and our makings. So anyway, hi everybody. I hope you had a great week. We had actually amazing weather here actually, you know what? Almost too hot some days.
Sunday was a little toasty.
It got pretty hot pretty quickly. So
it did. It absolutely did. I'm liking Julia's comment. She says she's not sure how Barrett Wool Co. got her address, but they did. And now they're sending her some Woolen Sport in the colorway Thistle. We were talking about that on Saturday. Barrett Wool Co. was having a bit of a sale over the weekend. And I was telling her how beautiful the yarn is. And it's just so soft and luxurious and wonderful to knit with. And there she goes, just jumping down another rabbit hole. We had a great time. We were knitting under the bridge on Saturday morning. Oh, didn't it just feel so good to be back there?
It was gorgeous. Yep. It was.
Yeah. It's truly a treat. We're pretty lucky to have that. If you follow us on Instagram, I usually post some pictures when we're down there on Saturdays. And it's an amazing place. It's good for the soul. It's good for it's just good for a lot of things. And it was beautiful on the weekend. So
Daphne said that she wishes that would happen to her. I think she means that, a yarn place getting a hold of your address and then sending you yarn.
Julia says it's our fault. No, it's not. We're not enablers. We're just
and Daphne, I think there's a couple of steps she missed in between, like the click pay.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anyways, and Julia had tried to entice me to buy some Mayak, but I almost did. But then
we were squeezing that yarn for the longest time. Julia brought it down to show us, and we're just sitting there holding it going, oh my gosh, it's so luxurious. But
I'm going to a wedding in the middle of June, and I arranged so that our B&B that we're staying at is right by the knitting loft. And that's my Mother's Day present from Ross, is I get to go shop at the knitting loft. So I thought, I don't want to buy stuff here. And realistically, I don't need any more yarn.
Said nobody ever.
I actually probably don't need any more sweaters.
No. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I don't know if we're going to jump. No, let's do a few other things first. But we've got a sweater parade coming up, right?
Yeah.
So how about...
But first I wanted to go through, because last week there were a couple of questions that came in after. And one was how I knit so much. Okay, first of all, I'm retired. I'm retired. So I don't have a job that I have to go to 5 days a week. Second of all, I am a pretty quick knitter. Like, it's not just that I knit a lot of things, but I actually do knit fairly quickly. I've been lucky that I've been blessed with a relatively good memory, at least when it comes to knitting things. So a lot of times when I'm doing a pattern, I can remember it. I don't have to keep going back to a pattern. So that helps, because you're not always looking something up. And I get up early. Like, I honestly, I get up most days between 5 and 5:30, and I probably knit for 3 solid hours before my husband even gets out of bed. So, and yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just part of my life.
Noelle is very scheduled too. Noelle finds ways to make use of every spare minute. This is the person who does a little spinning while she's waiting for her coffee maker.
That's right.
She doesn't like idle moments. So she has she doesn't have a squirrel brain. She's got that one track mind. I must knit. And she gets a lot accomplished.
And Julia said, and I'm small. And that's true, because when I make a sweater, I'm usually making either the first or second size of the pattern, which does take a lot less time to make than if you're knitting like one of the larger sizes.
That's true too.
Right? That's right.
I tend to forget about that until you're standing beside me.
Yeah. So that's a big difference. So
yeah,
that's also a difference. And it's one of the lucky things about being like, less than 5 feet, is when I buy yarn for a sweater, I don't have to buy as much either.
That's right.
I just buy more sweater quantities.
But in your defense, you do a lot of knitting for other people too, because you have
I do.
Your family's getting fairly large, and you're generous with your knitting, very generous. So it isn't just for you that you're knitting. You've got a lot of other people in there too.
Yeah. So,
okay. Did you have another question? Because
there was one other question. It was about Beth's pattern. So Beth McDonald Stone, I had showed last week, and I'll show you my progress.
Okay.
So this is the clay briggs sweater. And this is a test that I'm doing for Beth McDonald Stone. And last week, I think I only had like a little bit done. But people had asked when the pattern was going to be released, and Beth had responded and said that she's going to try and have it out by the end of the summer. Mm-hmm. So that way, if you were knitting it in fall, it would be ready for the winter. So this one is done in my favorite Holst Super Soft, but because this is a heavier weight sweater, all the colors are held double. So, and this, I actually just pulled the yarns from my stash. Like, I have a cone of the main colors called Pussy Willow, and then I had just the 50-gram cakes of the other colors. So yeah, so I'm really liking it. So I split for the sleeves, and I had to try it on because like the sleeves look so little, narrow, but the sleeves it's like boxy out, but then the sleeves are
right. So fitted. The sleeves don't start up high; they start down quite a bit lower. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that sweater, and I love the colors you chose.
Different colors than I would normally choose, but I really like them. And that's the benefit. I do have a quite large whole stash, and I have a lot of little balls. So it's nice. I can go and pull one of my cones and then just pull single balls to see what colors I kind of
great
like with it. So, okay. So that was the questions that I saw. What about you?
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make a comment. Shirley Did you see her comment? She says,
No.
she said that if she loses weight, it's not for her health. It's so that she can go a skein down at a project.
There you go.
One
There you
skein
go.
less.
We should call it the new yarn diet.
The new yarn diet. No, a yarn diet would almost indicate that we're not buying yarn, right? So the question that I had, Jan asked this question, and I don't know if I can. I would like to have demoed it, but I'm not going to be able to. So I will do either something on Instagram or on the Tangled Stitch YouTube channel. I'll do a quick little tutorial because Jan had asked, how do I join yarn mid-project? And I think she's talking about when you have the same color skein, but you have to add one in. So I know that there are a lot of techniques out there, but this is the one that I use. So when I'm approaching where the two yarns are going to join, I'll end up leaving like fairly long tail on the beginning of the new yarn and the ending of the old. And then I do a thing, I think Stephen West made it popular, called it the Weave and Stephen, but I also have a tutorial on my YouTube channel for that. So for the first 3 stitches, I will weave in the new end by picking it up as I'm knitting. So then I'll knit a stitch, weave the new end over, knit a stitch, weave the new end over. I do that for 3 stitches. And then for the next 3 stitches, I hold both yarns together and I knit 3 stitches together. And then for the next 3 stitches, then I take the yarn that I'm exiting and I will do the weave for 3 stitches on that. And you would think that you might be able to see where I've doubled up on the stitches, but you cannot. So this is a sweater I'm working on now. So I'll show it to you from both sides. So this is the inside of the sweater where I have the ends. And what you end up with is these 2 little tails, not very long. Sometimes I will actually go back. If it's a yarn that is not particularly toothy, I might go back and weave those back in the opposite direction. And if it's something that I think I completely trust, I'll just cut them off about this long. Sometimes I just leave them there. They will not come undone. And then on the front of the sweater, you can see, so here, right here, right above this point is where the stitches are doubled up. And you can't even tell that I have doubled up stitches in there. So that's my method. I never want to put a knot in the yarn, and I've never had that come undone. So Jan, I hope that answers your question, but I will try to put together a tutorial of me actually doing it so you can see what I mean by the weaving in. So that's that. Okay.
Yeah, and I for me it depends on what yarn I'm using. Like if I'm using the Holst, the super soft, it's a 2-ply yarn, so I actually separate the plies and spit splice the 2 ends together. And you can't see anything. So it all depends on what kind of yarn you're working with.
I've done that with thicker yarns. I know when I did the Celtic sweater last year, because that was like an Aran weight. That was pretty chunky for me to work with. So I did do the spit slice for that because it was 100% wool and it was bulkier yarn. So I really didn't want to double up the stitches in there. So it really just depends. But a lot of the things that I've been working on lately, nothing has been over a DK weight. So this method has worked pretty well for me.
Okay. I see a comment from Mickey here. Says, have any of you tried John Arbon stock yarn? I have it, and I love the feel of it, but I haven't knit with it yet. But I did actually give some to my friend Tracy, and I think she did like it. So I think she's knit with hers, and it comes in gorgeous earthy colors, like heathery type shade colors. So I got to get to that. Got to get to that one. But I do have a new sock yarn. I'll show you what I'm working with right now. I'm doing some samples for Little Red Mitten. And I had this down at the bridge on Saturday.
Yes.
So I'm doing a couple of samples in, this is the Fiber Co. Amble. So their sock yarn it is still superwash and nylon, but they use environmentally friendly processes in order to do it. So it doesn't feel like your typical superwash yarn. It feels amazing, actually.
It does. It's really nice.
So this one and this pattern, they have actually come out with a pattern. It's kind of like a little pattern booklet by Kate Atherley in conjunction with the Fiber Co. So it tells you how to do different things. Like the socks go right from like really tiny sizes up to really large sizes. It tells you how to do a couple of different toe shaping, a couple of different patterns for your rib. And this one, if you can see, it's hard to see because this is a dark yarn, but this is more like a spiral toe. Like the decreases are done at 4 intervals. So what's nice about this is if you really don't want to graft that toe closed at the end, all you do with this one is you're decreasing down to a small amount of stitches and then you're pulling through and tightening up. So if Kitchenering or Finchley grafting scares you, this is a perfect way if that's the only thing that's stopping you from doing socks. And then this was, so those were 2 of the colors. And then this was also from the same pattern, but this is just a striped version. I love that yellowy color.
I like that a lot too. So, that's really nice.
Yeah, really nice yarn to work with. I do think it feels a tiny bit thicker than regular sock yarn, but not quite as thick as Croy.
Okay.
So that's the Fiberco Amble.
Did you do jogless joins on that?
I did do that.
Very nice. Very nice.
So I didn't do the one that was recommended in the pattern though. My favorite one is still the one by Helene Magnuson.
Yes.
And it's yeah, it's free. Actually, after this, I'll link it under the podcast once, or under the live once it's kind of up and on there. I'll put it in there because I think that you can hardly see that. So they're along really, there,
really well done.
And then they're along the bottom of the foot, and I don't think you can see that either.
No.
So yes, because that is a true striped sock. It's not self-striping yarn. It's actually 2 colors.
Right.
So
okay. And then I guess I could show this since I sort of already showed it, but now actually I'm not. I'm going to take it off. I've got it on a pony cord because I finally decided to pull it off and try it. And then I thought, well, no, I should put it back on the needles to talk about it. But this is the Melody sweater. I should have put a picture in here. You know what? Carry on. Talk about something else.
Okay. Well, first I'm gonna say Becky said, can we repeat our method for round toe? So what I will do is you can give yours to me and I'll put them under the podcast.
Okay.
Because people ask about it a lot. So once this is done, we will put what we do underneath the podcast.
Okay. Sounds like a good deal there.
Okay. Okay, so Mindy said she did her shawlography in Amble and she thought it was very drapey and nice. And I said that to Kelly on the weekend. I said, I could knit a whole sweater in this. But then Kelly said I could knit a whole sweater in anything.
You could. You really could.
I say that all the time. I could do a whole sweater in this. But it was really nice yarn. And then I'm thinking, because it is still superwash, but it still has that nice kind of woolly feel. It would actually, I think it would be a great yarn for doing like baby and kids sweaters in. You've still got the superwash ability. And
okay, so the sweater that I started is the Melody sweater, and I've got it on my iPad, so I'll just hold it up and hope you can see it. You should be able to. Everybody can see that, right?
Yep.
Now this is a long sleeve sweater, and it is a crop. So I'm changing that. Mine is not a long sleeve sweater, and it's even more of a crop. I want it to wear with my summer linen dresses, so you really just want it high waist. So 7 inches, that's the number for me. So I'm done the body. Now it's a bottom up. So I actually don't even know if I've done a bottom up sweater before. It does not feel the same as a top down. When you're working on it, it's kind of like knitting in the dark. I don't feel like I'm as in control of the sweater as I normally am when I start at the neck and I work down, but I do have the body all done right now. And it's turning out really good. It's, I knit this in the Barocco Summer Silk, which is, I'm without a label. What's in the Summer Silk? It's cotton and silk, isn't it? I think
I did a sweater in it too. Did I write it down? Oh, I just wrote Barocco Summer Silk.
Okay, so this is it, and it's in the colorway Market, and I'm pretty sure it is just you know what, if I look here in Ravelry where I'm got things set up,
I can't remember if it's got anything else in it or not. So I do remember it was very nice to work with. I wouldn't mind doing another sweater in it. And it's perfect for, like, I found it perfect for.
Say that about everything.
I did do a sweater in it.
I still have my cold too. So I'm coughing and my throat is still weird. Okay. So it's 45% silk and it's 43% cotton,
Okay.
and then 12% nylon.
Okay.
So it's really soft, really, really soft. And I really like it. It feels like it's going to be a little thicker than I sort of envisioned for a summer sweater, but I'm going to love it with a few linen dresses that I have. So that's this week on the needles. I have one other thing that I put on needles this week. And I think you are probably done yours already.
I'm not, because I had those other socks to do.
Okay. So Irene from 3 Ply Podcast, who is the designer behind the Get Shorty sock, gifted Noelle and I the Get Shorty ribbed pattern. And do you have yours handy though to show? Because you're further along.
I don't. All I have done is up to the heel.
Okay. Well, I have less than that done. I just cast these on, but I'm already hooked. So I think my sock mojo is coming back because I'm really having fun with these. They do not look like a sock. You can't tell it's a sock right now. But so I'm using the Leo and Roxy yarn. What was this called though? We're the worst podcasters ever tonight.
Marled.
Sorry. Just marled sock. Okay. And for my contrast, so I just put that little tiny bit of color around the ankle, just a little bit. And I'm also going to do the toe in that. But the rest of the sock will be in this. I forgot how much I love this marled sock from Leo and Roxy. I forgot how much. And
I had done how many pairs? Like 15 pairs. So I kind of set it aside for a while. And then I did a sample for them just a couple of weeks ago, and I was knitting with it again. And it was the same thing. I thought, I forgot how much I love knitting with
That's how I felt as soon as I started knitting with it. And so for the heels and toes, and this is a perfect match. If anybody's looking for the perfect match, this is the Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in Cobblestone Heather. It is the perfect gray match.
For the gray.
Yes. So that's what I'm working on.
And I just want to say about the Leo and Roxy, the marled, they also now dye the marled. I know. And it is amazing looking. Like I have some in the purple haze, and I want to get some more because especially because I love the feel of knitting with it. But then, I don't know, it just gives the sock that really neat look when you've got the black marl going through it, and then the rest of it is dyed. So
yeah, I
could do a sweater in that.
I meant to bring the socks down to show everybody again because I just forgot how much I love that yarn. So that's that. Okay.
Okay. So one other thing that I was working on last week, again, it's a sample for Little Red Mitten.
Okay.
So it's not quite finished. I just wanted to show you, I've got to block it. So this is the Tassels in the Sky by Vincent Valpando. This is done with one skein of, help me, Kelly, help me. Moonrock Slub.
Moonrock Slub.
And one skein of Moonrock Slub is Full Moon Fibers.
Yes.
And one skein of Leo and Roxy, their silk mohair. So what I did was I made my tassels. So my tassels, the 3 tassels are all made and ready to go, but I won't put those on until after I block. So, but I made them, and then I continued knitting until this is what I had left in the yarn. So I had a little bit of the mohair, and this mohair is their parchment color. That's all I had left of the Moonrock Slub. So it wouldn't have been enough to do another row. But if you do your tassels first,
then you know what you have left.
You can just keep on knitting until you run out of yarn. So that will get finished up and delivered next week.
All right. So I wanted to say some hellos. There's some people that just joined us. Sandra popped in, Wendy popped in, and we've got Elizabeth in here. I think Elizabeth is new, and Lori too. Hi, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, Pat just popped in too. So while we're talking about Moonrock Slub, I had Noelle do a little shopping for me at the Mitten too, and she picked me up this slub because I completely coveted the shawl when we did the last podcast. Almost wanted to steal it. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm going to have to just blatantly copy you and make one myself. So I asked her to pick me up a color. I had I have a couple of skeins of Kid Silk, the Drops Kid Silk. And I think this is the colorway lavender, because I think yours is light lavender. Mine is actually lavender.
Oh, yours is darker.
So she picked this up, and I could not love this color more. Look at the colors in here. The thing is, here's my conundrum. I'm not 100% certain that I really like it with the lavender. So hang on. I also happen to have a pile, because I bought this on sale, of the Aloft, which is from Kids Pick, and it's a lace weight mohair. Now, so I need some help, everybody. Let me know what you think. If I should knit it with the gray or the lavender.
I also have the light lavender if you want the light lavender.
Do you have 2 skeins of it?
I have 4 skeins of it.
You have 4? But that's the sweater's quantity.
I've already done a sweater in it. Oh,
you have leftovers?
Yep.
So everybody's
thinking. If you want the light, you can have the light.
I'm sort of really feeling that one.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
Because then I think that the purple kale would pop, and it looks like everybody else. Okay. I'm watching what everybody's gray. Everybody's gray. Okay.
Okay, but
that one's gone.
The thing is, though, you don't really know what it's going to knit with like until you knit it.
Oh, okay. Yes, Janet just says gray, but I have to swatch. I don't want to swatch. I want to dive right in. I love this.
If I was just picking, and you're right, I probably wouldn't swatch either. I would probably just use the gray.
Yeah.
But it, like with mohair, you cannot tell until with like mohair, putting mohair with something until you actually knit it. You really can't tell what it's going to look like.
Oh, Valerie's telling me to swatch it. I don't know, Val. I think I'm just going to live with this. I sort of had my mind up.
Watch, Kelly.
Heck no. I sort of had my mind made up before. And I thought, if I go with the gray, that doesn't mean that I have exhausted the option of going back for something that is perfect match for the lavender.
Yep.
Right? I know where to get more.
The light lavender tends more to the gray side.
It does. This one is definitely
and because that was the color we thought that you had the same color as me, because I took a skein of mine with me to match.
That's right. And it turns out I don't. So I'm thinking this.
There you go. That's a good idea. Lisa said, why don't you just wrap it around some cardboard together and see which one you like the best. Then you don't even have to swatch.
Okay, I'll do that. Take 2 strands and do that. Yeah. Great idea. Okay. So. Cindy says, dive in, girl. I like that.
Well, that's what I would do. Because then I'd go, oh, well, I really like this. I can get another one if I want to do it with the other yarn. So.
This is cute. Karen was at the thrift store in Elmira last week, and they were selling little bags of wine corks. And she was thinking that people were wondering why there was a crazy lady laughing out loud holding wine corks. Oh my goodness. I love this. I love that you guys are just invested in this, and you get our particular
we could fill our
sense of humor.
Kelly, we could fill our little KnitChat bags with wine corks and send them out into the world.
Like a message in a bottle.
That's right.
Okay. So here's the next thing. Speaking of our little KnitChat cafe bags. So a big thing happened for Noelle and I this week. We were pretty excited about this. Excited enough that
we're not pregnant.
We're not pregnant. We're definitely not pregnant. And neither are any more of our children at this point.
No,
but
I haven't said yet what if mine is.
Oh, well.
I haven't mentioned it.
No, you haven't mentioned it.
No. Actually, and I wasn't going to until after the baby was born, but my son and daughter-in-law are expecting their first baby in 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. That's right.
So I'm very excited about that.
That'll be another Knits and Pieces baby watch that will be on.
And it's a girl, and it's another girl, so it'll be my 4th granddaughter.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And then we have some other news, though.
Yes, we do. We do.
The other news is that our Knits and Pieces podcast hit 4,000 subscribers this week. 4,000. And that's a pretty big number for us. We can't believe that 4,000 people are interested in what we do and our fiber journey. And we're just excited about that. So thank you. Thank you if you have been a subscriber. And if you aren't yet, please be one, because we would like that. So in light of that, we're going to get out the little giveaway tool. Has everybody got their fingers warmed up? We're going to have a little giveaway. You want to tell us the gift, Vanna?
Okay, so these are our little Knits and Pieces pony cord lace. Some of our favorite things that we use when we're making. So we use the pony cord lace, great for holding sleeves, great for trying on your sweaters, lots of things. Like I said, even if you're doing a hat, because oftentimes it's on a needle that's too small, you can stick a piece of this in and then you can try it on. Plus, we also love the little stitch bulb. Like, I don't use them for stitch markers. I use them for marking how many stitches or how many rows I've done.
How many rows on our socks.
Yep. And then also the little stitch markers that we like with the little bead on them.
Yes.
So
okay,
a little pack of those. Yeah. And we love this. And we just made up the little bags with our Chat Cafe logo on them. And some of them have our Knits and Pieces logo, but.
Yes. Oh, I don't have that. But inside our little stitch markers have
okay.
the Knits and Pieces. And then we put mohair thread in every package. No, that's not true. Just this one. A little bit of
sample. There's going to be a sample of gray and lavender, and tell us which one you like.
A little piece of washi tape on the back that says "Hello, beautiful," because that's a reminder that you are all beautiful. So, okay, I'm going to pull up the giveaway tool.
Okay.
I have to share the screen. Hope I remember how to do this. Nope, that's not how. Okay, there we go. First, I have to turn it on, don't I? So, if you want to win the little bag, type in hashtag 4000. We're going to let it collect a little bit.
Okay.
And
while you're doing that, again, because 4,000 subscribers is a big deal for us. And we want to share with everybody. So what we're also going to do is after this podcast goes up, there's going to be a chance to win another prize underneath the podcast. And that prize is actually going to be a skein of yarn, which Kelly will show you once we're big again.
Yes, once we're big again.
Yes, and a little pack with the pony bead lace and the stitch markers and the light bulbs. So yeah, because we just kind of want to show our appreciation, because we're so happy that everybody comes back week after week to chat with us. It makes our week incredibly special, with something to look forward to every week. And we just want to share the joy.
We're going to talk about that later too.
Yes, we are. So
okay, what have we
yeah,
got?
and I want to say thanks to everybody for all the congratulations on the new addition to our family. So it's definitely growing. So, but it's so much fun. All my three little granddaughters are very excited about having a new cousin. Zoe said she's going to take her swimming in the pool. I said, well, probably not this summer, Zoe.
But why, Grandma? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did, and I spent this weekend with Molly and Isla, so we had a good time. I had a little sleepover there, and the girls were good. But you remember why you have babies when you're younger.
That's right. They're busy. They're so busy.
Yeah.
Okay, there's still a few more coming in. We'll give it just a. We could let you do your 10-second hyperspeed countdown, but
okay. Are you ready?
No,
okay,
you're too fast. You're too okay.
10 more seconds. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, let's hope that this works. Fingers crossed, everybody.
I love seeing all the names go across.
I know. So exciting.
Rosalie Kramer. Yay, Rosalie.
Yay. I was just thinking when I saw the confetti, I should have confettied us when we announced our 4,000 subscribers. We're terrible. We don't think about it.
Oh, well.
Okay, to make us big again. All right.
Okay.
So congratulations, Rosalie. You can send us a comment to either Instagram. You can DM either one of us. These are our handles down below. And if that does not work for you, here is our email address, knitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. Send us a line with your address and your last name. We've had that happen before
Yes.
too, where we only
Yeah.
got a first name
Yeah.
and your last name, and I will pop that package into the mail for you.
Okay.
So if your name is not Rosalie and you did not win tonight, here's what you have a chance to win. I have this beautiful skein of Sweet Georgia Tough Love sock. I
That
love,
looks so springy.
if I can get it into the frame here, I love the beautiful spring colors in this. There's a gorgeous blue, a nice light green, this lovely cream color, and even this little bit, it's almost a khaki color. It's really pretty. And it's called Mirror Pond. And I really, really like Sweet Georgia's Tough Love sock. I've made socks with it. They hold up really well. I've even made a shawl with it. You could do a few things with that. So you have an opportunity to win this and this. We'll put the two of them together in one package. So what you have to do after this podcast is over, if you go back into, once it's posted to YouTube, and then you leave a comment below, and how about the comment be,
how about what are you making right now that's bringing you joy?
Sure, let's make it that. We didn't discuss that ahead of time, so perfect. Yeah. Okay, so leave that comment below. We will let the comments collect until next Tuesday. And then right before we go live next Tuesday, we'll do the YouTube comment picker, and we'll announce the winner next week for that one. Okay. And hi, Kathy. Kathy just popped in too. Okay.
And Sandra said she's from Cincinnati. She loves this chat. She always listens, but has a hard time in person. She had dinner tonight with her son and daughter and grandson home from college, but she made it home in time for KnitChat. Yay.
Well, we're very happy to have you for sure.
We are for sure. Okay, so we should probably move on to, we were going to talk about some summer knitwear.
Summer knits.
Or warm weather knitwear. We shouldn't say summer because summer's well, I guess it is still summer, but seasons are different depending on where you live. But anyways, this is warmer weather knitwear.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you have a lot more than me.
Okay, first, before we do that, first, remember last week I was talking about this and I needed help to get it done.
Yes.
Okay, I did what I said I was going to do. I got my other band done with the buttonholes, and I got my neckband done.
Nice.
Okay,
Very
so
nice.
Done. Mind you, I did it today. I said I was going to do that. I have to go get it done before we can do KnitChat. Maybe that's why I was late, Kelly.
Maybe. I was hoping to get something knit on that sock, but I got home late and didn't. But anyway. Okay. So you start. Okay. I only have 4. I'm not much of a warm weather knitter, I guess. So I have less than you. Okay. Start away.
This is the Peep Show pullover. This is by Morgan. And I wrote this down. Where is it here? By Morgan Wolterstorff. This one is done in Full Moon Fibers, Moonrock Slub, and Lichen and Lace, just their 80/20 sock. And I had this on last week, so I talked a little bit about it then. Perfect sweater. The slub, honestly, I can't, you have to knit with it to see what it feels like. So you might look at it and say, oh, I don't know if I want to knit with that, but you really need to feel with it and feel the fabric that it makes. It's just a gorgeous fabric knit up. And I think even held with the mohair is really nice.
I think a lot of people just don't know what to do with slub.
Yes.
I would have been the same person. I would have looked at it and thought, oh, it's really pretty, but what the heck would I make with it? So when you made that pullover, I really, really like that pullover. And I think that's when I fell in love with it. And then you showed up with that shawl and I had to jump in. And
I just farther back in the comments, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said they're knitting a Tassels in the Sky shawl now because of seeing it on the podcast. So everybody, we'll have a Tassels in the Sky party. Anyway, so that's first one. This is the Anchor Summer shirt. And this is a pattern by Petite Knits. This one is done in Retrosario Mungo. I love the pattern. The yarn's not my favorite. It's okay. It feels a little softer once it's been washed, but this is probably the first yarn that I put on that I thought felt scratchy. And I have a pretty high tolerance, but it has, I must say, it has, as it's gotten washed, it has softened up more. So I think it feels definitely better than it did. And I think with some of these, I'm not sure if it's a recycled one or not. I know it's 50% cotton, 50% wool, but with some of these, they do have to get worn a little bit in order for the fabric to kind of soften up and feel nicer. But the pattern, I would definitely knit this pattern again. I really like the pattern. So
that's a really well knit pattern too. Like a lot of people have knit that pattern. Okay. I'll show one. This one, it's not even a sweater, but I wanted to show it because it's definitely summer yarns. I made a banner. So it's the birds and ships cowl. And if you say that enough times fast, it comes out as a different word.
But we're not going to do that on here.
We won't do that on here, but this is the cowl. So it's, and then you can see at the back, this is what sits on your neck, right? So that the cowl sits down loose. So while I might not exactly call this a summer, but it's definitely like a late spring. I like to wear this with a denim jacket, and it's a really, I can't put it on because I have hairpins and it'll never go back over my head without catching. But it's got a beautiful lace pattern, and this one was by Caitlin Hunter. And the reason I wanted to show it is because people talk about the types of yarns that they can use in the summer. And this is trailhead yarns. And I want to talk about this. I pulled it down here. I've got two other colors. You should see my table right now, Noelle. It looks worse than mine.
I'm writing notes over here of things I have to put under the podcast. It looks worse than it does on
podcast day. Like really. So this is the trailhead yarns, and this is called their Fundy Tide. And Fundy Tide is 55 cotton, 45 linen. So no animal fiber at all. It's all plant fiber, right? And then I paired it with, you hold it double with Cabot Trail. And this is 100% tencel. So this would be classified, I think, like as a lace weight, right? Yeah. And you said you often weave with tencel as well, right?
It's very strong, and it's shiny like silk.
Yes, it's very shiny. And it's a tree fiber, is it not? So we bought these. Kendall and I bought these in Vancouver at the Knit City Vancouver, and she was marketing these as vegan yarns. So my daughter was pretty excited about that. But these are just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I believe all of her yarns, all of her fibers are non-animal fibers. Right. So you might want to check her out. And I can't tell you how soft this is. And like, again, that beautiful shine, and there's no weight to it. It's breathable. It's really beautiful for summer. So that was my first one. So carry on.
Okay. So I had a few comments here. Becky wanted to know, first of all, if the peep show, that is just a single strand of slub. So that one is not held with anything. It's just a single strand. And Shelley was the one who's knitting the tassels in the sky. So yay, Shelley. And then there was a comment from Kathy that said she did a love note and held a strand of the slub and a strand of mohair, and it made a beautiful love note.
Oh, that sounds really pretty.
Yeah. Plus, I thought it would just make a really nice cozy classic raglan or something. So definitely will be more slub garments in the future.
And some people are asking if these are on our Ravelry pages. They are.
Yes, I'm going to link everything below after. Not till tomorrow. Don't look for it tonight. It'll be after tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my next one. And this, it does have 3/4 length sleeve, but this is Yarrow by Pam Allen. And this is done in Quince & Co. Kestrel. So the Kestrel is 100% linen. It's kind of like a chainette construction, and it's worsted to Aran weight, and it's I really like this. Now it's the middle of summer, you're not going to wear it because it's like longer sleeve, but for like 75 whatever, it's a really nice sweater. Now what I find with this is, with the linen, as I wear it, it grows, but then I just throw it in the washer and linen kind of shrinks back up once you've washed it, and then it's fine comes right back to shape. And the only thing about this one is I did this one before I knew about doing that you could actually do helical knitting when you're doing garter stitch. I didn't know about that then, so I can see that line down the back. But luckily my hair is long enough to cover it.
Okay.
So, but now I know how to not have that. So
do you have another one?
well, I'll just go. We had seen this one last week, so I'll just quickly go through it. This is the floodlight tee, and I will definitely be doing more of these. I love this. And I think I showed one yarn that I had a couple of weeks ago. It's just a lace weight yarn. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the lace weight double for the body, and where this mohair is, I'm going to hold the lace weight single. So you'll just get a little bit of texture difference. So that's the Floodlight Tee by Tanis Lavely. This one is done in the silk linen yarn from Leo and Roxy and their silk mohair. And someone had mentioned before about mohair for the summer. A single strand of mohair is really light. Mm-hmm. Like it gives you fabric that's kind of like closed in, but it's really light. Again, if it's really humid, you're not going to wear it. But like, you know, for a day that's 70 degrees, I would be perfectly comfortable with that on. Mm-hmm. So,
yep.
Okay.
Okay. My next one.
Emily wanted to know if I had trouble with the Kestrel knitting it. I didn't, Emily, but it's been a while since I knit it, so I could have forgotten, but I don't recall having trouble knitting with it because I remember thinking I would get it again. And yes, Emily, you can I could wear the floodlight backwards. So the cutouts in the front. On my Ravelry, I put in pictures of it both ways.
Okay.
Okay.
My next one is my Miserina. And I call this a summer sweater. It is, it's fingering weight. It's Leo and Roxy fingering weight yarn. And then that's their MCN. So the merino cashmere nylon. And then the brown is Knit Picks Stroll, which is a 75-25, I believe. So this is typically a sweater that I like to wear with, again, a linen dress, or I have a denim dress that I really like this with too. So again, this is not going to be a hot weather, but it is a pretty short sleeve. So I do definitely wear it in the summer or the evenings, and I don't find it overly warm. So I even wear it in the winter. I'll put a long sleeve shirt underneath it, but I like it most when I can go short sleeves with it. Okay.
And that's basically, this one is also by Caitlin Hunter. This is the Novelli Tee by Caitlin Hunter. This is done in Emma's yarn, which is an MCN, which is the main color. And then there's some Life in the Long Grass twist. And then the cream color is a Fleece Artist Cottage Socks. So again, this is, it does have wool, but it is short sleeve. So again, we're talking like, obviously not in the hottest days of summer, but I find short sleeves, I don't wear in the winter because it's too cool. Mm-hmm. And I've got enough long sleeve sweaters that I don't very often wear something like this with the shirt under it. I usually wear this in the spring and the fall, like just with a denim skirt or something. So. Okay. When knitting color work, So Lee wanted to know, when knitting color work, do all of the yarns have to be the same fiber and the same weight? They don't have to be the same fiber.
No.
And
no, because your mohair and your fingering are different weights.
Right. But usually you're usually not doing, if you're doing a mohair design in a fingering sweater, like she's talking color work. If you're just doing stripes, it's different. They can be different weights.
Oh, but color work. Sorry, I missed that part.
But if you're doing color work, you're probably going to get a more even texture if you use the same weight. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same fiber, mm-hmm. but it's probably a better idea to have similar weights. Like sometimes you can get like spin cycle, because spin cycle can kind of be used as a fingering weight. It can kind of be used as a sport. It can even maybe be used as a DK, but you just kind of have to swatch it and see if you like what the fabric looks like. But probably most likely you're not going to do like an Aran weight sweater and then put fingering weight in for the contrast. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. The next one I have is the Cloud 9 Tee. I did this one last summer. I love this color. Love the color. This pattern is actually from I think it's a Claudia Q pattern from Unit in Toronto. No, sorry, it's not. It's Andrea Yetman. I take that back. Andrea Yetman. And it was designed to be knit in a fingering and a mohair. So it was a much fluffier sweater. And I decided to make it in a linen base. And so this one is the Barocco Chai, and it is 56% linen flax and 44% silk. So again, you can see like the shine in it. It's really shiny. And the other thing that I like, aside from the lace panel down the front, it has this nice shoulder detail. It's like a raised, it's almost like a 3-needle bind off effect.
Like an exposed seam.
Yes, you get an exposed seam. It's not that I did this inside out. It's intentional. But I like to wear this one a lot, again, in the summertime over a skirt or a dress. It's a little bit longer. It's probably about 9 inches from armpit to waist. So it's something I can actually wear like with higher waist pants too. It's pretty. It's really pretty. And that lace detail, it shows up really nicely too. It's pretty.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So there was a few comments about, and I think it was probably referring to the kestrel, because the kestrel is like a tube shaped yarn. And I think it was Julia that had talked about Russian joins, and that is the join that I used with that yarn.
Yes.
So if you're looking at it, there's lots of tutorials for it, but yeah, you do use a Russian join because it's kind of thick. You can't really tie it and you can't really weave it in. Mm-hmm. So a Russian join is the best to use for that.
When I'm working with a yarn that I don't like the way it's going to join, no matter what I do, if it's a sweater that's in pieces, I'll try to take it to the side seam and bury the edges in there. Other than that, I guess you just do your best. I know even with this Barocco Chai, like I have to admit, I wasn't a fan of the actual knitting of it. It felt a little coarse on my fingers, but so I couldn't do it a lot, like for a long period of time. But then after I washed it, that fabric is amazing. Amazing.
Okay. So this is my summer love note. And this is done in the Barocco summer silk. And Kelly's talked about the summer silk already. And I love this sweater. It just feels like, it doesn't feel like butter. It feels like a warm hug.
I don't know. My sweater feels like butter. So,
well, this one doesn't. None of my sweaters feel like butter.
Butter.
And this is perfect to throw on over like a little, like spaghetti strap dress when it gets cooler in the evening, and it looks good with jeans. It looks good with a jean skirt. I just like the love note is such a versatile pattern.
It is.
Like it really is. Like you can do it in winter
change
weight,
the length of the body, change the length of the sleeves. And every time you do that, it looks completely different.
This does have a 3/4 length sleeve, but I could have easily seen this just with a little cap sleeve after the lace.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay.
I'm up. Okay. I've got one more.
Well, I have a bunch, so I'll go first.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay. So I got to find the name of this one. This one I actually didn't knit, but Tracy knit it and she gave it to me. So this is, it's called Shaped Neck Tee, and it's by Lana Knits, and it's done in hemp for knitting. So I looked up the difference between hemp and linen because I thought, like, what is the difference? Well, linen is made from flax, right? And they get the flax out of the inside of the plant. So it's the fibers that are inside the stalk of the plant, whereas hemp, they actually use the outside fibers of the hemp plant. And I also found out it is not the same hemp that you smoke. They are both cannabis plants, but they're a different varietal of the cannabis. So this one feels really nice. It's nice and drapey. It's got a cute little kind of cap sleeve on it. And this one too, you can wear either with the V in the front or the V in the back.
I like that one. I really love that color too. It's beautiful.
I know. I had actually more blue sweaters than I thought.
Less pink than you thought I got
Less
too,
pink
right?
than I thought. Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay. So this is, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm going to try though. It is
great. I'm probably not going to know how to spell it either then.
Tillandsia, Tillandsia. And this is by Laura Ayler. And this is done, and this was actually a mercerized cotton. It's a fingering weight that I bought to actually weave with, and then decided that I was going to knit a top with it instead. And it's just got
it's pretty. It's really pretty. I like that lace at the bottom.
Yeah, it's got a pretty lace pattern at the bottom. The thing with some cotton yarns is they do tend to spiral a little bit when you knit with them. So if you've got that, and I didn't do it in this one, and I wish I had, I wish I would have put the pearl seam down the inside. And then it kind of gives you a good shaping point. Like, I just have to be really careful when I block it, that I block it out, that it kind of takes the spiral out of it.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Anyway, and it's got the lace detail at the sleeves as well. Okay. This is the Rocket Tee.
Don't worry, everybody. She's only got 90 more to go.
Lavely, and I'm frozen here. Oh, there. Okay. This is the Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavely. This one is done in Riverside Studio silk mohair, and then the blue, again, blue. I can't believe it. And then the blue is lichen and lace, but it's their merino singles. So this one I did in that pattern. There's a lace detail that goes down the side. This one I decided to just leave plain, but I do have a second Rocket Tee. This one is done in Leo and Roxy. This is their 80/20 sock and their silk mohair, and that color is called Patches to Patches. And in this one, I did do the lace detail that was down the side.
I like that one. I really like that color too.
Yep, I do like this color. It's got the lace detail at the arms. I think I did it on the arms of this one. I just didn't take it down the side. So again, like, I think this would be a really nice sweater done the same way I was talking about the Floodlight Tee. If you did if you had a lace weight and you did it double for one of the stripes and single for one of the stripes, you would just get that illusion effect.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Pamela has a question too, talking about going down a needle size and up a pattern size to get a fabric that you want. Sometimes the fabric is too airy. So as far as explaining the method, if you just feel that it's not right, then when we talk about that and we go down a needle size, then we actually knit to see what the fabric looks like. And then if we like the fabric, that's where you're going to have to measure your gauge at that point. And then you do the math to see what each of those sizes are going to be, because you're going to have to adjust that to get the correct, most sweaters, it's the bust size, right? And then you'll do the math at that new gauge to see what your sweater width is going to be and if that's going to work for you. So that's where you'd likely have to go up a sweater size, because you'll get the sweater will come out smaller because now you're knitting at a tighter gauge. Okay.
And you've also sometimes got to worry about if it's telling you to do something in so many rows. You've got to look at your row gauge too, because something so
that's like a lace weight pattern, maybe in the yoke.
So it's okay with a pattern that tells you knit to so many inches, because then you're just going by the measurement. But if it tells you so many rows, you have to see what your row gauge is compared to the row gauge of the pattern.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay. And someone had said about why does cotton spiral? I think there's other yarns that can spiral too. Like sometimes a single will spiral, and I think it's probably got something to do with how it's spun. But that's something I'll look into that for next week and see what I can find.
Okay.
So, okay. So next is my cotton ranunculus. So this is my ranunculus that is done in Sweater Kits Cottonlicious.
Cottonlicious.
And you know what? This actually turned out a lot better than I expected, because this is just 100% cotton yarn that I was gifted, and I didn't really know what to do with it. And red's not a color that I normally wear, but this looks really good with like a white skirt or white shorts, and it's perfect for Canada Day. So. And the fabric actually feels really nice. Now I did this ranunculus is not nearly as wide as the original pattern. And when I did all my ranunculuses that I've done were done with the original pattern. The amendments that she made to the pattern didn't come out till after. So I might go back and make more and do them a little bit more fitted, because that's what I've got on right now too. And it's quite
quite a bit
wide.
bigger. Yes.
Yeah, but it is nice because I mean you can just throw this one's really nice and light, and you can just throw it on over this one, just any kind of a color tank top, and it just kind of gives you a little bit more coverage and a little bit more warmth.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm getting down. I've only got 5 more.
Okay, I've only got one, so
okay. This one is the Lexa, and this is by Hannah. I can't pronounce her name. Masuska. And again, I'm going to link all these below. But anyway,
did you say Lexa? Just Lexa?
Lex. Well, it's Lexa, Lexa. Okay. So this is done in Diamond Luxury Pimo Lino lace, which is a cotton linen blend. And this is a lace weight, but I held it double. It was a fingering weight sweater, so I just held the lace weight yarn double. So if you have lace weight yarn and you don't know what to do with it, you double it up and you've still got a really nice light fabric. Mm-hmm. So again, blue. Okay. Okay. The next one's not blue, not pink either. Okay. This is my Tenya. So this is the Tenya by Caitlin Hunter. This is done in Holst Garn Coast. Now, the Tenya gauge that she states in her pattern is quite loose, I think, for a fingering weight yarn. Mm-hmm. So this is Coast. I believe the pattern was either a 20 or 22 stitch gauge. I did this at a 26 stitch gauge because that's how I like the Holst. And it's still like really drapey and
good night, Alexa. She's leaving.
Okay. Good night, Alexa. It's still a really nice light fabric at that gauge, but again, you would have to do the math to figure out what size you would have to do for yourself to do it that way. And the Tenya is a pretty well knit pattern. I think there's a lot of them around. Again, I think it's another one of those patterns that you can do in a variety of yarns. I wouldn't even mind this in a winter version with long sleeved.
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty. Nice. Yep. Do you know what color that is? I don't think I've ever seen that on you.
Amber.
Amber? It's really pretty.
So, okay, and I'll do mine and then you can go last.
Okay.
This is the Cupcake Tee. And this is a pattern by Stephanie Earp, who is one of the owners of Espace Tricot. This was just one skein of Surrey alpaca from Cornbread and Honey. That was the one skein, the very first skein of Surrey alpaca that I ever got.
Yes.
And I got that in Columbus at Vogue Knitting Live.
Vogue Knitting, yep.
And then the little stripes are tencel that I had for weaving. And the tencel I held, I had 2 different grays and I just held a skein of them each together for the little stripes. So I think the tencel helps to give it a little bit of structure too, because the tencel is a little bit more not quite as loose and drapey as that. Well, it's still drapey, but it's just a different kind of fiber.
Well, it has no stretch.
No. Yeah. So I guess that would be why it kind of gives it something to hold the shape better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this one is the Arisu, Arisu. This is by Svetlana Volkova. And it's just like a little kind of sleeveless tee with just a little bit of lace work at the bottom. This is done in the Louette Euroflax wet spun linen. So this is 100% linen. Again, I don't particularly like knitting with the linen, but I really do like
the
finished
end
garments.
Result. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, last one. This is my Maple Buds, and this is by Natalie V. And this is done in Anzula Breeze, which is a linen silk lace weight blend. And it just feels like amazing. And that was like one skein of the lace weight. So this top is like what's in a, I don't know how
400.
400. No, the lace had 600.
Oh, the lace. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lace weight.
Lace. Okay.
But it was just one skein, but I can't remember how big the skein was. But anyway, really super light. Nice. I love this top. So
really pretty.
And that's it.
Okay. My last one is the Deshane sweater. And again, this one isn't like a super short sleeve one or anything, but it's like a boxy sweater. So it's got just those little 3/4 sleeves. It's crop. I knit this one in the Gadifra Arborea, and I did the Deshane sweater is by Layla Raven, and I did an extra lace repeat here. It would have been super cropped without it. This is not the yarn that it was called for either, so that could have been some of the issue. I also added, you can't see them, but I added short rows to the back. The pattern didn't call for that, and I had read some of the forum reports that it would be too short at the back, so I did some short rows shaping myself, and it all worked out, and I really like it. I wear this, I have a like a black jumper that I wear this over. I really, really, really like it. So
okay, so there are a few questions here. First of all, one was the lace held double? No, in this one, this is just the lace. This is the linen silk lace, and it's just held single. So, and there was another one too. Oh, Elizabeth wanted to know if I ever make any clothing tops with woven fabrics. I haven't. I've thought about it, but you would almost have to, like, it would have to be a fabric that you made and then felted so that you could cut it without the fabric completely coming apart. I have thought of trying that. I thought of trying it. I have to make maybe try something out of like the whole super soft, because I think it would felt really nicely. And then,
okay, but I'm wondering, okay, so I'm just thinking, why would you have to felt it? So, I mean, I have a serger. If you knew the shape.
So do you cut with the serger?
The serger cuts the fabric as I run the threads through it, right? Like that's how you get like that, I don't know, I can't find it, but you get that serged edge. I'm wondering if you could do something like that with a woven piece.
Maybe. Because it's like, it would just be like, I'm thinking of cutting out pattern pieces because it would fray.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you just drew out the fabric pieces, I could cut all of that with the serger.
Okay,
it'd be really fun to try. It'd be fun to try.
Yep.
Like not too detailed, but something, you know, kind of like a boxy square shape.
Right.
That would be fun to try.
Yep.
So, okay.
That was a lot.
I feel like we ran a marathon. We need to have a little chat before we get to wrapping things up. We have to talk about our little bluebird of happiness and our spark joy make along. I'll pull those up. Do you want to start talking?
Yeah, so the Spark Joy Make-Along is going on from May 1st until June the 30th. And what we want you to do is make something that brings you joy. It can be for you. It can be for someone else. It can be spinning. It can be weaving. It can be knitting. It can be crocheting. It can be because you love the color. It can be because you love the yarn. It can be because you love the pattern, or just something that brings you joy. It can be something that you don't necessarily like working on, but it brings you joy to have that finished object.
That's right.
So, yeah, so there are threads up on Ravelry. So there are some finished projects in there already. So there's also a chatter thread. So, you know, let us know what you're doing or what you're working on. And that's the thing for the 4,000 giveaway prize that we're giving away too, is we want you to write underneath this video, once it goes up, what you're knitting right now that brings you joy.
That's right.
And then what you're making. Doesn't have to be knitting, what you're making.
Right. And then down below here, we've got the hashtag that you can use on Instagram, and make sure you get some projects on there and tag it with that hashtag, and we can see it.
Yep. So, okay. And then we have our sock knit along going on. So our sock knit along goes from the beginning of January till the end of December. I haven't even looked today to see how many pairs of socks are in there. Anyway, our goal for 2022 is to have 2,022 pairs of socks in there for 2022. Last time we checked, we were well on the way. I haven't looked lately. Kelly's just going to bring it up there now.
975 pairs.
Yay! You guys are awesome, because those are not our socks. They're your socks.
Not ours.
So
there's already 25 Spark Joy finished objects in there.
Oh, that's awesome. And I had a message from I saw I think it was Catherine on Instagram today had already finished a Get Shorty ribbed sock.
I know. I can't wait.
Seen it, and I'm like,
I'm gonna sit down tonight and work on this.
I have to put away a bunch of sweaters.
I need to be able to spark joy, because I might try to catch. I don't always watch it live, but there's only, I don't know, for those of you out there that watch the show This Is Us, there are only 2 more shows left
Oh,
in the 6 seasons. And last week I sobbed, absolutely sobbed. My daughter and I have watched this from the beginning. And so there's only 2 episodes left, and we've already been warned that it's a real tearjerker. So I might need to knit something that's bringing me joy while I cry my heart out.
yeah, yeah.
You just get so vested in these characters. Oh, Adriana, that is so sweet.
I know,
She says
that's
it
so
brings
sweet.
her joy to listen to us. Okay. My husband doesn't say that.
I was going to say the same thing. My husband leaves.
And
when I go, look at this top. Don't you just love this top? He goes, yeah, it's okay.
And neither of our husbands have brought joy when the 2 of us are together yakking about it. Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. Do we have anything? My table is just chaos here. I'm looking around.
My one side, I've moved everything from this side to this side. So
I finished my DRK everyday socks. That brought me immense joy
because you were done.
Because I was done them, not because I didn't like them. I love them. They might be my favorite socks, but gosh, it's a lot of 2x2 knitting. It's a lot. And but I finished those. So that brought me great joy this week. And I'm excited. So again, Irene, thank you for the pattern. We're having a lot of fun with those.
I know. Actually, I've done. I might work on mine tonight too, because I worked on my sample knitting. So maybe for a little while, I'll just knit on. I'll just knit on my summer's shorty, because if I don't get them done soon, it's going to get too warm to wear them.
I know, but I don't know. Like, I wear my short socks all year too. It isn't just like, I don't think of them as warm weather socks.
And it's the same thing when you look at, like, and you talk about mohair, whatever, in the summer, there's still a lot of nights in the summer that get cool.
Oh, and I'm a sock person. I never wander around my house barefoot. I don't like that. And I'm just not that person. So even in the summer, sometimes, like when you get on, get your PJs on, you're settled in for the evening, I still love to have cozy socks on my feet. And this Leo and Roxy sock, the marled sock, it just feels like butter.
No, it does not. It does not. But now I need to go and buy some more of the colored marled sock, the dyed marled sock.
Oh, and I need to say, I know why I want to say this, because after I knit a full size pair, I still have these are 100-gram balls, and I had 50 grams left, because in the I should pull this up. Just let me do one more thing here. Okay. Let me pull this up on my Ravelry.
Well, I know the yardage in the sock, in the marled sock, is amazing, because I know when I did all the pairs for Christmas, like I thought that I picked out, or I had purchased the right amount, and I had like 2 or 3 skeins still left over. So the yardage is just incredible in it.
Gosh, how far back did I do those?
They were a while ago. That would have been 3 winters ago.
Oh, wow.
2 winters ago.
There they are. Okay. I just wanted to show a picture of the finished socks, and just say that, I had, after knitting these full-size socks, and I'm a ladies like 8 to an 8.5, I still had 50 grams left of the main color. So the yardage is fantastic. So I'm easily going to get these short socks, and I could have knit the whole sock in the one color easily, but I just like that little contrast.
Yeah, so. And they do have, I don't know if they're up on the website now, but the Leo and Roxy website does have kits for the socks, so that you do get your marled, and you get your cream, and you get your little contrast color. So
yes,
they are, and it's. I was surprised when I started knitting with it. It was just like, you just think, wow, I just really love knitting with this yarn.
It's so soft.
It feels really nice. So.
Oh, Rosanna's saying that she wants to make a bluebird of happiness. She said she found it on Ravelry. Is that where you got the pattern?
Yep.
He's not hanging yet. I said last week I was going to hang a string, so I don't have to like do this and manhandle him every time I show him. But there he is. So he's our little mascot for this make along. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I think I'm done now.
We're
I'm
good.
exhausted.
We're good. Okay, so remember that the knit-alongs that are going on, and
Underneath
get your
this
comments
video,
in. That's right,
comment
about what you're knitting that's bringing you joy.
for a chance to win this. And we'll
Yes.
let you know who wins this next week.
Okay. So I
Okay.
think that's it. So have a great week, everybody, and happy knitting.
Happy knitting. I forgot it was me that has to sign off.